I'm gonna start stream in 3, 2, 1. And we are live here with real news. Another week, another crazy week in 2021 Biden's America, and it's CPAC weekend, CuckPAC, or now CancelPac, as we like to call it. Have you guys been keeping up with it? Seen any of the action going down there, or just not giving a shit?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about CPAC. Like, I saw, that they apparently have some alt-right symbols on the floor. Like some Pizzagate level shit that I'm starting to see from the left.
Yeah. Oh, is that the meme you saw?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
claiming
like,
that there's alt-right symbol on the floor.
yeah, the stage is in the shape of like one of those Nazi symbols. Yeah, it's that one I seen your meme. It's this Pizzagate weird shit straight metal was. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. Even like, let's say that the CPAC crowd actually grew a pair of balls and they decide to go and like do something edgy like that. Like, do you think that they'd even have the power to go and change that design for the fucking floor? Or do you think it's most likely whatever the fuck was there?
Oh, I saw him taking that shit down. It takes him a long time to put that shit up. Like,
Yeah,
that stage isn't. I think part of that stage is permanently there, but it's mostly something that they have to construct for days, and it's not like they can just change it like that. I'm trying to find on Twitter, but I saw that too. That was the dumbest thing, but it's kind of funny that somebody would see, because that's the thing, they see into things like that. Like, remember that like picture that went around, that construction spray painted like symbol on the asphalt and somebody follows a swastika?
Yeah, like these people.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of an ink blotter test. When they show
Yeah.
you the cards with a. So what do you see when you see this ink blot? And then you're like, I see my ex-girlfriend that cheated on me. What a fucking bitch! Like, it's like, so do you want to talk about that further, or what? What's the deal? Like, yeah, no, that's exactly what that is. Like, they want it. There's shit that they look at. They look at the stage, and that's like something that they want to see because it's like in their fucked up heads, and then so they just send it out. And of course, Twitter, as Twitter being Twitter, just feeds into that mental instability and just kind of blows it all out of proportion. By the way, Twitter, man, we got some fucking crazies on Twitter. Holy God. I mean, the amount of mental instability that is on that fucking program, and even when you even when you see the meme, right? Or not the meme, but when you see the picture, all the people under it, because I have to see who I have to see the comments just to see how weird the comments were. They were just going along with it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Yes, they are a bunch of white supremacists and stuff. Like, no, it's in your head, you crazy person.
Well, they'll say like too, like it's gaslighting, or it's like oh, the dog whistle.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's so much. I think they're just crazy. I think they're just crazy.
No, what
they
I'm
just
saying
see what
is
they want to see, and then it's just like the mental instability. It's just kind of takes it to a whole nother level.
No, I agree with that. I'm saying these people, they'll like when they see into it, and then they see like, oh my God, the stage. It's the shape of a Old rune. It's a Nazi symbol, like runes. Was this RuneScape Old rune?
Like, who just like knows this off the top of their head too? It's like, oh, this is what it's probably fucking Nazi himself. Like, I'm betting that's probably the case with it.
It's
like,
Richard Spencer that actually started it, turns out.
I mean, he is a leftist. He married that like witch, or dating that like feminist witch, like that dude.
And he voted for Joe Biden. No, but I think these people, like, they see it, and yeah, they're seeing into things like an ink blot, and then their logic is like, they might think at one point, oh, like, why would they make the stage a Nazi symbol? That doesn't make sense. But then they go, oh wait, but that's what they want you to think, because that's how dog whistles work. It's not
when
exactly
you're
what
mentally
you think.
unstable, when you're mentally unstable, and then you want to see something, like, and
Yeah.
you're seeking, and it's not like it just showed up in front of them. They were these people look for shit. Like, yeah, they just go and they look for shit. So when you got mentally unstable people that are actively looking for shit, of course they're going to try to find anything they fucking can. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find that shape on literally anything. You could find it on crests, or you could find it on street signs or some shit like that. Like, oh my god, that street sign, that must be white supremacy. Like, no, no, you're a fucking moron. Okay, you're crazy. You need help. You need counseling. You need Jesus, and you need some fucking brain candy. Okay, get help.
These comments, I can't even tell if they're fake. Like, this one person's like, to Hyatt Orlando, you allow a Nazi symbol to be constructed in your Orlando hotel. That is, you foster and allow anti-Semitism. You should demand that the Nazi symbol be removed or covered immediately.
Fucking Ben Shapiro go and speak at CPAC or something too.
Yeah, they probably jizzed on it.
He probably.
Yeah, it's
Mr.
like
Freeman,
there's probably so many like Jews in the fucking CPAC right now. You know,
isn't the guy that runs it Jewish, Matt Schlapp?
I won't be surprised.
Like, yeah, they're like, oh, by the way, one positive thing at CPAC, because I just saw it on the timeline, they gave the Ronald Reagan Award to Scott Presler. So good on him. He actually deserves it. I hope they give him a job. You know, they give him like running campaigns, because that could be the best thing ever.
I think he's doing pretty good though with his thing, with because he's been all over the place and like working with all kinds of stuff. I'm very excited. I'm really excited to see what he does as far as like his primary stuff goes.
Yeah,
because I think he's trying to work on getting some of these fucking cuck Republicans primaried out, which you know, I'm excited to see how well he does in that, you know, in that facet, you know, because some of these people, well, actually, all these people have to go. Like these cuck Republicans, they got to go. I mean,
get them all out over the
get them out.
wall.
Because I mean, look, even best, because you got to think about this. Even best case scenario, let's say best case scenario, right, for 2024, right? Best case scenario, Donald Trump goes, hey, I'm running for president, runs a campaign, wins the election again, right? If he doesn't have control of the Senate or the House, he's not gonna be able to do shit anyway.
Exactly.
Like you gotta set this up for him, you know, to be able to make the changes that he wants to make. A lot of this, and speaking of Trump, I'm sorry, like people are saying, oh well, Trump's not going to get passed because he had 4 years to do stuff and all that stuff, and I'm thinking, well, let's rewind that a little bit. He
barely
he didn't have as much control as you think he did. The fact that he did,
they had a deep state. Like, who was that? Yeah, they had that fucking article. They admit they were fucking deep state.
Yeah,
they bragged about it.
Yeah,
they fucking bragged about it.
And like so he had, by the time he figured out, like and of course keep in mind he's never had a political office before, so he's like I know he knew about the deep state, but I didn't think I'm pretty sure he probably wasn't expecting it to be this
bad,
dirty, this deep, this swampy, like. And so by the time he really got a chance to figure it out, he already lost the House, right? And then you lose, you know, and by the time that I mean, you know, you lose the House and you're pretty much fucked. I mean, you're trying to, like, you need to get help from Congress. You need to get congressional help. You know, and that, or else it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter who's president. So
yeah, no, I'm glad you bring that up, because, and we'll transition into Trump's big speech tomorrow and what we think is going to happen. But that is one very good point Matt Gaetz brought up on a podcast he did with that kid from New York, Gavin Wax, who runs their Republican club up there, who I really, really like that guy. He's doing both of them, I should say. I really like both of them, but Gavin's doing some amazing work up there. And Matt Gaetz, I've always been a huge fan of. But he brings up a very good point, which is that, yeah, Trump was great. We all love him. He did a lot with what he could. But the biggest mistake we made as a movement is not realizing quickly enough for the midterms, and even in 16, but realistically the midterms, was you need a bottom to top, top to bottom overhaul of everything if you want actual change to happen. Doesn't need to be maybe every person, but you need to really, and we've been saying this, like me especially, like I couldn't emphasize it enough when these people criticize, why isn't Trump doing this? Why can't he do this? And I'd be like, because of the Congress. That's where we really need to focus on, is that you gotta really reform the people we're putting in at the lower levels, and even in local governments, state governments, the school boards. I mean, that's a really big one too.
Those school boards. Aren't you gonna run for that?
I certainly won't, but trust me, they are terrible with the stuff that they get pushed through into our schools, and that's what I'm saying is the bigger movement here. Populism is sort of really switching all of this, switching back from the elite controlling this, people that don't care about us, giving it to people that actually do give a shit. But that's what needs to happen. But before we transition to that more, I want to also point out that somebody on Twitter literally, like, the Nazi thing, it actually got onto the trending page. Like, it's one of the biggest trending topics. 177,000 tweets over this. And one person even says, this one's funny, he goes, I know I'll never step foot in another Hyatt again. I don't support corporations and support Nazis. This stuff is so dumb.
It's mental instability. And like, I think there's a lot of it that, like, I mean, obviously we've talked about this with with Twitter and other things. Like, you've got a lot of these social media pages that have like fake accounts and bot accounts, and you've got like you've got computer farms in fucking Bangladesh that are cranking out fucking hashtags and fake, like, pushing certain shit because there's no realistic way that, like, somebody just shows up on something and then they just get like millions of accounts or 500,000 followers in one day or something like that. It's just ridiculous. Like, combine that with the amount of mentally unstable people that are on these social media platforms, and it's a recipe for fucking all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, amplify stupidity and craziness. But I am really excited though to see Trump's speech tomorrow, because it's going to be at around probably 4 p.m. because all this shit always runs late, but it'll probably be around 4 p.m. And I personally think there's a good chance I think he still runs in 24, and I think he's going to tease it. I know that's been kind of the talk. He will definitely not announce a run this early. There's still so much time, but he's going to position himself as the leader of the party, I think, and I think he's going to start naming names, start calling people out, like, big time. So I think it could be a really, like, it could be, it might not be, but it could be like this, because he hasn't done a speech since he conceded, or quote unquote conceded.
I think he's going to wait. I think he's going to wait a few, like, he's probably going to wait till people start to, like, drop. They were still trying to go. They just went through the impeachment trial, and they're probably going to go and try to get him for that other thing where they can make it so he can't run again.
Oh no, I know. I don't think he's going to announce running again, but I think he's going to kind of prime people into, like, the possibility of it in case he does consider it. But moreover, he's going to focus on the midterms and focusing on the bigger picture, which is, like we just said, getting these cucks out, primarying them, and he's going to start naming names and probably telling people, showing support for certain people. So I think he could come back with a big splash. with this. Like, I think it could be one of the more fiery speeches of his. But we'll see. I don't think he'll play it safe, though. I don't think he's going to be like, oh, these are all wonderful people, and, had little differences. But no, he's just going to come out and just, like, rip them, tear some heads off. Like, McConnell, he'll probably, like, rip a new one.
I mean, it depends on what he wants to. Yeah, like, he's such a cuck, too, because he was like, oh, I can't, Trump, what he did was wrong, but I'd still, like, he's, like, going just because he knows what the base feels. That McConnell knows that his base love, like, that the Republican base, they still love Trump.
Yeah.
But he's such a politician. He like fucking two-faces everything. Like, see, that's why people hate politicians, because you can't fucking trust them. They're worse than used car salesmen.
Yeah. And I mean, Ted Cruz is a good example of that. He's somebody that can really sell you. You really like him. And then you see some stuff that's like, ugh. He's not as big of a champion as he says he is. Like with big tech. Oh, he's a real big talker. No action. And did you guys see his very memeable moment during his speech?
Yeah, where he did the fucking autistic screech.
Yeah, so he had a little Howard Dean moment here. He's like the Republican Howard Dean. He goes up there, and the whole thing, like, I knew people that were there that was saying, like, people were just, like, taken aback by it, because it was like a freaking drama. Like, it was a play. It was like a high school play. He's like, she's like, Bernie was wearing mittens, and AOC said she was murdered. Like, he's like going up to octaves that his voice isn't even capable of reaching. And then it comes to a peak where at the end of it, he just screams, freedom! And it's like at this like forced, cringy level.
He wants people to go and talk to him, like talk about him in ways that don't revolve around like Texas.
I guess it does divert the attention, that's true. But man, it's at the cost of cringe. Oof.
Yeah, but that's not a very big price compared to like, if he wanted to burn you alive.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather go and like be the kid who shits his pants or gets like expelled for having like crack in your backpack?
Well, at least if you had crack, you'd be considered the cool kid, not the like poopy pants.
Oh yeah, but you'd also be in fucking jail. It's like, doing a bad decision that's like less than the other bad decision. It's like choosing a lesser of two evils. Like, what do you want to be remembered for having a stupid screech that's a little bit theatrical, or fucking over your constituents?
Yeah, no, I feel you. They're also calling this CuckPAC, and there's a truck driving around that has the GOP logo, and they changed the O to a Q.
Dude, if they only knew. Like, half these people like literally think that like the GOP is in league with the Q people. It's like, no, they're not. I
bet half the people that attend CPAC don't even know what Q is still.
Yeah, they probably never been to 4chan. They probably never been to 8chan. They have no idea what the fuck Q is. They have no idea. Like, they probably don't fucking give a shit. They just care about their own like taxes. Like, they're going. It's like what they did with your Turning Point Club at school. There's other shit out there that's like way worse, but you guys are the ones who are called like Nazis.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're so like delusional. It's either delusional or it's unintentionally, a smear. But like I was watching the AFPAC conference last night, which is Fuentes's conference, where he had Manchin and Representative Gosar, and a few other people at it. John Miller from Blaze TV was there, and like he was literally like trying to explain to people what a groiper was, and I was just like, oh man, because he's like, oh, we have some people here, some older people, some newer people, like people like Representative Gosar, who probably don't know what the groiper subculture is. I was like, yeah, they don't.
A lot of people don't know what the fuck the groiper subculture is. They probably think you're a fucking groper, because that's what it sounds like.
It does sound like that.
You think you're gonna go and like find them at the fucking subway, like fucking grabbing your ass cheeks. Like, that's what I think of when I hear that term groiper. Like, oh, you get groiped. they grope you in the dick. They grab you in the pussy. It's just a groiper. They're on the sex offender registry. Like why they pick that name?
It's bad optics.
Like it's just stupid. Like apparently it was based off of some fucking like meme or something back in the day, but like
it's like the cousin of Pepe.
Don't make your fucking movement off of a fucking meme.
Yeah.
Unless you don't want people to take you seriously.
Yeah, because memes are trends. Trends die. You want to be timeless. You want to be like classical music. You'll live on forever.
Yeah,
but
like the fucking royal family.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was funny too. It's bad, but it was like, it's funny. Like, I'll admit, like, there's some things in Nick's speech that really made me go, ugh, like really bad on optical things I disagreed with. He did a really good fucking speech though.
What was he saying?
He went on. He originally had like a written speech, and then he went off the cuff. But the parts that were good was when he was talking about America, populism, Trumpism, why Trump's important, like all these kind of traditional like things that we know about, but he articulated effectively. But where he made me go ugh, is when he started talking about race, because I forget how he worded it, and I don't want to misrepresent him, but there was a line he did say where he's like, it was something like he's like, white people, it's time for white people to rise up or something like that. I forget how it was worded, but it's like, oh, don't say that. That's not going to come off the right way. But, they did a decent job, overall from a production standpoint, but there was some shit that was like kind of embarrassing. Like on their posters or their banners that were like next to them when they were speaking, it says America First Political Action Conference 2021, and they spelled political wrong.
What did they do? Was it like one of those edgy spellings, like, oh, I'm gonna put K over here instead of a
No, C? It was spelled POLITCAL. I almost spelled it correctly in my one saying it, but yeah, they forgot the other I between the T and the C. Yeah, not good. But what's worse, and this is gonna be interesting to see what comes of it, is a documentary filmmaker. I forget his name because he's a bit before our time. I think it's Luis Theroux or something. Theroux. He's a British documentarian. 2 million followers on Twitter. He's got into AFPAC. And he's a lefty. And this is, if I have it correctly, a one-party consent state. Yeah. Ouch, guys. You're going to get fucked.
Yeah, that's what that like one guy was saying, the Patrick Casey guys, like someone's gonna go and dox you guys, it looks like. Well,
Patrick Casey, for as much as he is an idiot in some ways and bad optics and maybe a bit weird, he might be right on some things like that.
It's gonna happen. Something like that's that big, you're bound to have someone slip through the cracks.
Yeah, well, it shows how badly they vetted the people that got tickets, because that was the whole thing that they were saying about. It's like, oh, the vetting's even better this time, security's even better. You let in one of like the biggest documentarians like into your freaking conference. He has 2 million followers on Twitter. You could just Google the guy.
Well, he could have had a false ID.
Well, he would have had to send a check with a false ID on, because that's how people were paying for this, was through checks. And I don't know if they were accepting Bitcoin. They might have been, but I think it was just checks and cash. Maybe that's how he did, was with cash. But yeah, maybe he did. But oof, big oof. So that's been the CPAC AFPAC scene so far. But we'll see what Trump has to say tomorrow. I'm very excited. I think it'll be interesting. And
I mean, it was like CPAC was like after the whole election debacle, and even some of the aftermath, like they needed, like it, obviously they weren't going to be able to make it like they were, and I don't think Orlando really was the initial plan.
No, obviously. They were trying to do it in their normal location initially.
Right. So this was kind of, this was kind of fumbled a little bit, which I mean, I expected it, you know, because they weren't going to get it perfect. They weren't going to get it perfect because you're moving a whole fucking conference to a, you know, to a place that you don't usually have it in. And yeah, some mistakes will happen. Yeah. But but like, what's more sad for me was it wasn't doing well, and it felt like Trump basically brought it back to life. Like, if
Yeah.
that's what it felt like, because they knew that, obviously they knew they were having CPAC, but nobody was honestly going to give a shit about CPAC, and then Trump just basically gave it CPR and fucking brought it back to life, which, you know, it tells. I think this was a good move for Trump because it lets people know that, yeah, he's still the man as far as the GOP is concerned.
Well, have you seen
Like,
how much they've been kissing his ass for all these people who were like, "Oh, the election wasn't stolen," and they didn't fight for Trump. Man, they'll kiss his ass right now. They
yep,
know he still is the boss.
they know he's got it. That's like, it's it it's like in perfect like okay, I don't want to use a professional wrestling analogy, but I'm going to do it anyway. So back a couple years, a little over a decade ago, uh Hulk Hogan was wrestling The Rock. Now, The Rock was just like, obviously we know The Rock as this, like, you know, icon, right? This kind of pro wrestling icon turned film, you know,
Mm-hmm.
movie star, but he was like big. This was when he was still big on the professional wrestling scene, right? Like, he was, you know, this established big scene. And then you had Hulk Hogan, who's like in his, like, who's essentially in his 50s, right? I think he was in 40. Yeah, he was like in his 50s. So so they wrestled, um, and it was in Canada, right? So this event was in Canada, and they booed The Rock. They cheered for
Wow.
Hogan, who'd been out of wrestling for a little bit, but like they that in that match, they booed The Rock and they cheered for Hogan, right? That's what this feels like, right? They're like, yeah, you think you're hot shit, but you remember who's still running the fucking show. It's not you. It's like, you know, as far as professional wrestling goes, Hulk Hogan's always going to be probably one of the biggest names ever, right? He's always going to be probably the biggest name. Him and Ric Flair are probably the biggest names of all time. But but you know, this is what CPAC felt like with Trump. Like, you know, as soon as Trump said, "Yep, I'm speaking," that's like, oh shit, oh shit. Now we all want a piece of CPAC now, because like who doesn't want to hear Donald Trump speak?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to hear.
Like,
Even the haters want him to speak. So like, you know, this is the kind of thing that like people thought that they could the GOP thought they could live without Trump. They failed miserably, and now they're kissing his ass. This is the moment that Donald Trump, I felt like he knew it was going to happen too. Like, I felt like he knew that this moment was waiting to happen, where they thought they were gonna, you know, move on from Trump. They thought that, you know, and then they got the realization, like, oh shit, we still need him.
Yeah, and that's the key. Whenever I hear anybody say Trumpism without Trump, that triggers the heck out of me, because that is not how this works. That's not how a movement works. You need a leader, you need a face to that. And as long as Trump's still here, he's going to be the leader of the movement. Till we find something
But they
better
don't come
or
up,
a successor,
and this is
you know.
and this is on the GOP too, right? So they want to move on for Trump. You need somebody to move on to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're gonna say, oh, we're gonna move on from Trump, we're gonna do our own thing, we're gonna be like, well, who are you gonna go? Do you have somebody in mind? It didn't look like it to me. It didn't look like you were moving on to anybody exactly, which, like, what are you talking about?
And go
Like,
Jeb Bush.
yeah, like you're gonna move on from
Nikki
that
Haley.
crazy. Yeah, like what are you talking about? Yeah, that they tried to push Nikki Haley, and that fucking died instantly.
Yep.
It died instantly. Like nobody was behind that shit.
See,
the
I
CR.
was wrong. I said she'd be the next Jeb. No, she was worse than Jeb. She died quicker
She
than
was
Jeb.
worse. At least Jeb made it to the fucking
Debate
stage.
stage.
Like,
Yeah.
hell, I don't think Nikki Haley's gonna make it to the stage.
No, fuck her. She ain't going anywhere. And like these cucks, because I do talk to like a few of them in these older CR chats, just to see what they're thinking a little bit. And they were saying like, I was like, yeah, one person was like, Trump should just stay out of it. Him
No.
endorsing a candidate at this point is more of a liability. And I'm like, Trump is the leader of the party. Embrace the future. And then I get somebody go, Sean. At some point, you have to let go, man. The party's moving on from him, whether you like it or not. Trump is not a sustainable future for the GOP.
Take a look at CPAC. How many people are going to go to the Trump event there?
Yeah.
It's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
It's gonna be packed.
You should bring that up because I'd love to see their fucking response. Like, oh well, you see, guys, this is actually a black swan event because of this, and that. There's some
It's
other.
just a cult, you know? They'll say it's, oh, these are just his most vocal people coming. No, look, I went there last year. You had to get there. Shit, we got there at, I think, was it 7 or 8 a.m., which is like right when it opens. And you had to go through security and get your seats. And Trump doesn't speak till 4. You had to get there that long before to get in, to see him, to get a seat. And when we got there, we were near the back. You know, I mean, people were out there camping out to see him. Like, it's people. I. In some ways, I do get why these people are so stupid. But how can you be so stupid to not see that people love him and this is the future, even if you don't like it? Is it really just cognitive dissonance at this point? I don't get it. So I just replied, MAGA and America first are what the people want. Trump is leader of this movement. It's here to stay. DeSantis, Gates, Boebert, etc. are the new faces of the party. Mm-hmm. And then somebody said what you were kind of just saying. He's like, his ideas weren't all bad. Oh, okay, is that implying they're bad? But he can't stay as the face, nor can he be directly connected to future leaders. That would immediately tank the movement. I said, so who should lead the movement then? And then
no, he is the movement.
Well, here's
the movement. Yeah.
Here's their response to that, because that's what you gotta frame it to them. It's okay. You don't think he's gonna be the guy who is, and they say someone who can win over independents, garnering support with independents should be our number one priority. And I'm like, let's name names. They don't have any. There's proof right there that they don't have anybody to be the Trumpism without Trump.
Yeah, these people are brain dead.
Yeah, they're brain dead.
CRs, like, they're dying.
Yeah.
Like, didn't you have more people in your fucking Turning Point club at Penn State than they had the actual CRs?
So during my time, because they were still cucky then, yes, we had more people coming to meetings, more active members, obviously more people coming to events. Once they actually started campaigning for Trump, they outnumbered Turning Point like big time.
Oh yeah, like that's insane. Like, remember when I first went to Penn State?
Well, you left too. So when you left, like there was a huge hole that like I know Turning Point, right? As soon as you left, there was a huge hole. Like they were not able to, like, I don't think they were able to recover, because you were kind of, honestly, you were kind of a rock star over there. I don't want to, like you were the one that was basically running the meetings, making the events happen, like all, like it was you. And then like when you left, there was nobody that could or wanted to do it. Like, and so I don't know. I don't know who they could have, you know, I mean, that there was a lot of reasons why Turning Point kind of tailed off a little bit as far as the school went. But yeah, you definitely had your departure definitely had a lot to do with it. So
Well, I
yeah.
think the thing too is when there's an election year and people want to get involved with those sort of things, their go-to thing is like, let's get with the Trump people, let's get with the Trump club or the college Republicans. And that's kind of how, like, because I think you even noticed too, Alex, that during 16, even when they were cucked, like that first meeting we went to, like there was an uptick in people, not only because people were pissed and were like, what the hell are you guys
Well,
doing?
to be fair, though, there's always an uptick at the beginning because they see you at the involvement fair. Like
Yeah,
people
that's true too.
shit
Mm-hmm.
otherwise.
But even after that, they still had like, they, let me put it this way, they had more people in 2016 at their meetings than they did once you left and I was going to their ones with, you know, post Big Bad Wolf days. There were more people, or sorry, less people at their meetings. It's like the election year kind of brings more people involved, and Turning Point didn't exist then, so maybe that's an unfair comparison. So it's
We did
like,
have Turning Point. I mean,
it was
not
after the election though.
yeah. I mean, we did get them eventually. Like it did eventually sprout up, but then we
Yeah.
also
It
had
was
certain.
at, and I'm not saying this to brag, but it was at the peak like when I was at it because it'd grown more and I tried to make it, you know, even bigger. So, you know, and then the
Well, not to
pandemic
mention,
hit and messed everything
CR's
up.
pretty dog shit reputation at that point.
What was that?
The CRs also had a pretty dog shit reputation.
Yes. Yeah.
The whole events that happened.
Yeah. And now like new people come in and they see that's better and they don't know the history, so that's kind of like they stick around more. So it's like the dynamics have changed, but you know, it'll be interesting to see how things go moving forward. But these people like that, you know, think that we can move on without Trump are just so stupid. So I can't wait to see some cuck bashing tomorrow because it's well deserved. It is overdue, and man, are we hungry for it. So
Did the CRs actually go over there this year?
I will have to check some of their Twitters because I don't know. I don't think so.
You see, Donnie, she posted.
Oh, oh, in the Discord?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was in the chat. Let me take a look here.
Yeah, she's doing some things in Arlington too now.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I know
Mm,
you shared it with me, Phil.
So they had a meeting, or they had a panel where they basically had 6 of the 8 candidates there, and so they I guess there was somebody, like they had a moderator who was like a Republican member of the, you know, Trump administration, and so they were asking them, they asked a set of questions and they let everybody answer them. And for the first event, I thought she did pretty well. I know I showed you the video, Sean, and I know, and I had to watch it a couple of times just to kind of, you know, just kind of see where it was at. And I thought she did really, really well. I like how she had like she was very to the point, like in her answers. Like her one okay, so one of the questions that was asked was, so they had all, like the city of Arlington, they have all this money to pay for stadiums, but they didn't, but the you know, the roads are crumbling. Well, what do you do? And she just basically came out and said, "Oh, we need to open up the economy. Like you can't, in order to have anything, you're going to need money to pay for roads or whatever. Like if you're having," and she's right. Like you open up the economy. Like you need revenue to be able to pay for anything you want to do, even if you want to pay for stuff. Like you need to have the economy rolling, right? Get it up, get the businesses open, get the, you know, like get it open. And like, and you know, people applauded her. I think she did really well. I was very pleased. What'd you think, Sean?
No, I think she had a solid start, and I was started skimming it because I was trying to find the part she talked, and I wish they'd given her more chances to talk so that, you know, we could have seen more. That's the only thing I wish because it was good, and I think the more she does it, the more she's gonna get even better. And like I said, when she starts knocking doors and like those that practice comes in, when she starts doing more events and that practice comes in, by the end of it, it's gonna look very, very solid. And what
The
I
thing that
hope
I noticed.
is that she gets more endorsements and more money rolling in. And I hope, because I hope people see this and
Yeah.
start translating that into action.
Well, she did. Like she had um I Adam Krieger, like he has his own podcast. He used to be on Tim Tim Pool's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he uh he had some positive words for Donnie. He was talking very good on her. I mean, she's getting a lot of attention, like just not just from an Arlington perspective, but just from an out like beyond, like in the country. I think, you know, uh, who's that one? Bernard Kurt Kursick or whatever. Is that his name? I think I forget what his name is, but anyway, he endorsed him. He's at CPAC right now, but like yeah, like her name's floating around there. um I think, yeah, I mean, as she continues to work the strength. Okay, so here's one of the things, and like from a leadership perspective, right? Because there's certain things you look at, like from somebody who really hasn't been in a leadership position, but you know that they definitely have the aptitude to be a good leader. One of the things that I look at is like when people are in positions of pressure, right? When people are in moments of pressure, how do they perform, right?
Mm-hmm.
And looking at her, uh, saying her introduction and then answering the questions that she did. Um, she had a little bit of nerves when she first started talking, but like obviously that's understandable. Anybody, when you haven't spoken in front of people in a little bit, you always get those little nerves. But like normally you either go one of two directions. Like you know you either go the bad direction where you're like, you know where then you start stuttering, or you start fumbling words, or you start mixing words, or you start forgetting lines that you practiced earlier, and then it kind of just goes into a downward spiral. Or you fumble a little bit, but then you go back up, right? That she I didn't even notice that she fumbled at all. Like she just kind of answered the questions, and then it looked like she was a little uncomfortable, and then she just kind of like took off. Like it seemed way like her answers were way better, and she was very and I noticed she was very uh she took the high road, because there was a couple of times where you know one of the candidates was like kind of trying to poke a little inverted shot, like a kind of a silent shot at her, and she just kept her, she kept her poise, was very comfortable, very relaxed, maintained her bearings, like and was still nice and was still very receptive. And I was like, wow, that right there, that's what she looks like. That's what the city of Arlington needs at this juncture, right? Because I mean, like we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks, we talked about like, you know like the mayor was trying to basically suck up to Biden to try to get some freaking money, to basically bail him out. And
Mm-hmm.
they had the winter storm where pretty much all of North Texas was beaten to hell. And like you could tell, like, they need somebody like Donnie right now, because whatever they got right now, it doesn't look like it's working. Like, it's time for someone like Donnie to kind of come in there and, you know,
Right. So what was what was Arlington's response to the whole like electric like winter storm stuff? Like how'd that affect them?
it was a disaster. Like, no, the streets and all of them were just shut down. Like the whole city was damn near shut down. Like, it wasn't like you would think. And it was only, it wasn't, it like, you know, we're in Pennsylvania, so we're kind of used to like, well, there's going to be snowstorms. It's going to be like stuff, you know, so, you know, we're used to that sort of thing. But like, it looked like there was no plan. So like the roads were slick. There were accidents. There was, you know, school closing, city spots closing, all that stuff. And like, there's not, and it was for days. So like, there were power outages. The supplies weren't getting, like, you know, there was a lot that went wrong, and like all of this could have been fixed a hell of a lot quicker, a hell of a lot easier, but it just kind of went on. And I don't know, I think we were talking about one of the candidates was actually a member of the Arlington recovery team, which is like, that's, oh my god, like, that if that's your plan of recovery, that is a bad one. Holy god. Like, people had to sleep in their cars in freaking Arlington because they had no heat, they had no power. Like, that is not good. That is not good.
Yeah,
As a city, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, yeah, like as a city, like the people running the city should be ashamed of themselves.
she should have called that person out, whoever was in charge of the fucking planning committee or whatever, for fucking it up royally.
I mean, it's bad. It's bad. And like, and then it's like, well, because you got one that was on the recovery team, and then you got two of those candidates that are on the council. Like, currently, they're on the council of Arlington. So like, I mean, it was bad. I mean, it was just like how do you vote somebody in that messed up that bad? Like, all you like, really, like, okay, so, like, as a city, all you like, I keep thinking of keep thinking of the movie Ted, like for the movie Ted, where the guy goes, all you have to do is not fuck up and you get my job, right? All you have to do is not fuck up. Like, literally, I felt like it's like all you have to do is not let the city go to shit and you should be okay, right? And like, but like the city went to hell, and I don't, it's just awful. And then I think that the baseball stadium was a disaster. Like, getting the baseball stadium and the funding for the baseball stadium, that was a fucking disaster too. It's just like, if Donnie runs a I'm not the current city of Arlington, like, I think she could do really well. Like, all that, literally, because they ran this thing so badly. Like, all you have to say was, well, I'm at least not those guys. Like, I think that, like, at least gets you something, you know. Obviously, you're going to have to do a lot more. In no way am I saying, oh,
Yeah.
well, all you got to do is that, and you're fucked suing. No, you still, obviously, when you're running for office, you still have to campaign. You still have to, you know,
You need to
do
stand
everything
for something.
that a normal. You still have to do the typical campaign shit, but like, you know, I mean, like, definitely not being the current administration that let the city basically go to hell. That definitely gives you a little bit of a boost.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yeah, as long as she starts knocking doors next month, we're hammering down this message of reform and actually clean the crime up and clean the city up, and showing how all these candidates are a total disaster, especially the guy on the recovery team. Like, what recovery was there? You can win. She can win. You know, that's how you do it.
Okay. And then obviously, okay, so you get some people that are saying, well, why are we talking about a Arlington, Texas race? Isn't that like half the country away? Well, first off, Donnie's a good friend of ours, and she's doing something that she felt in her heart to do, which I totally respect. And then secondly, this this is part of an even bigger point, right? When you're talking about the country as a whole, we need to start paying more attention to these local races.
Yeah. Yep.
We have to. Like if you're gonna like it, because even best case scenario, even if Trump were to run in 2024, even if he was to win in 2024, like even if everything went his way, if you don't take care of the local races, if you don't take care of the governor's races, if you don't take care of the House and the Senate races, there's not much that Trump is going to be able to do. So we have to take care of those races too, because they all play an integral part of what we have to do as a country. So, I mean there's yes, Donnie's our friend. Yes, we wish nothing but success for her. Yes, we're gonna root for her. But this is also part of a much bigger, this is part of a much bigger issue here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a way bigger picture here. It's a part of a bigger effort and problem we're all trying to fix, which is, like I said, it's got to be a top to bottom, bottom to top, MAGA, America First populist takeover.
And the problem ultimately boils down to the GOP, like the GOP establishment basically ignored this problem for years, and they let it get this bad. Like this is a bad time right now. We got to so now we got to fix it. But in order to fix it, we have to start building from scratch, basically, from a local, state, and federal perspective, just to be able to let Trump do his job if everything goes well. Like it all, like we're at least the one thing that this, like obviously we hate that Donald Trump lost, and I don't think he lost. I think he got I mean I think the election got stolen. But the one good thing that came out of this is we all learned how important these other races are. Like we've learned, we got a crash course basically on how important every one of these races are. So, it's something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's part of something bigger. I hope she wins. And Don, if you're watching, like I've always said, need anything, just call or text and I'll help you out. I also saw on her Twitter, because I was scrolling through it, apparently at CPAC they played a video of some dude like swinging a katana. Samurai futurologist. What is this?
What?
Why? For what purpose is there like some weeaboo at CPAC, going around? Did he have a fedora too?
No, he has a white suit, which looks really nice. He's a Japanese journalist, author, Gemki Fuju. Don't call me racist, people. I'm trying to pronounce this. And he loves Donald Trump.
So we have the animes on our side, I guess. That's
yes.
All right.
Once again, yeah, I was just going through her timeline. I saw that's funny because I think I heard about that, but yeah. Oh, and there's that picture of her of all the people at that event. Nice. Oh,
and that's another thing too. And that's another cool thing. Like she's like a really personable person. Like there's not a very, like, you could tell some of those other candidates are very kind of stale, very kind of
they're not people.
They're not people. Yeah, you could tell they're not people. She's just like she has a meet or greet at a freaking at some place, and people just gravitate toward. Like she's got that ability to just connect with people. Like again, you need somebody like that. Like you're if you're trying to get if you're trying to make changes throughout a city, right? Anywhere, if you're trying to make changes throughout it, you got to be able to connect with the people that are trying to that you want to help you make those changes. Like you have to connect with people. Like you got to motivate people to want to do something like that. Like, um, I think, and she has that ability that I haven't seen it like in Texas in a while. Like I mean, I obviously you think of Texas and you think guns, God, and football, right? You very very Texas
in that
things,
order.
right? Like literally, not. I mean, I mean, it's like, and it's like you have people, but you got to connect people enough to motivate them to want to do those things, right? Because there's a lot to keep to keep to keep any place like that, right? It takes work and it takes sacrifice, and you need people that are willing to do that. Not only do you need leaders that are willing to do that, you need leaders that are able to connect with people to motivate them to do that sort of thing. Like, and so and it that's I mean, I feel like that's Donnie may be one of the first people in a long time to be able to do that. And yeah, I mean, we need more of them, right? We need more of them around the country, right? Not just in Arlington, Texas. We need them like all over the place. We need them in Wyoming to get Liz Cheney out of there. We need them in was it in Illinois? Is it Illinois or Indiana? The Kinzinger
Adam
guy.
Kinzinger.
But anyway, we need
Yeah. Let me check.
we need to get him out of there too. We just need so many people. We need more of these people just to get them out. Like get them out. Because like I don't know. I don't even know how did they vote Cheney in? Like I'm just like did they not? Well, she did run in Wyoming, so I guess as long as you're not like as long as you're not a royal liberal, I mean, you should be fucking shoo-in, almost like any Democrat in New York City. But like,
there's that name recognition.
Yep.
But that's not good That's not good recognition. Like,
neither is Romney.
Your father was one of the most evil fucking Republicans ever. Like, what do you? Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Did you see what he did when he was in office? When he was vice president?
But he's not. But she's not like his husband.
No,
you get those people. Yeah.
Oh, but it's a woman and it's a Republican.
Yeah.
You get some of that, and it's like, well, at least he's, it's a Republican. Like, at least you heard that, and like, oh yeah, versus
spearheaded two fucking wars. Speaking of which, thanks President Biden for getting us into some more fucking conflict. Very nice.
Wasn't he the one bitching about Trump like when he did that airstrike?
Yeah, they all were. All the Democrats were like, well, actually, to like I scratch that. I take that back completely. Actually, when Trump, believe it or not, when Trump attacked Syria, because I guess Syria gassed a whole bunch of their own fucking people. When he attacked that airfield, it was like that was the one time that he got love from Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. That was the only time I've seen them actually give love to Donald Trump. It was the only time that I remember them giving. Like, I'm like, yeah, you could tell where their fucking their heads at.
Well, if I have it correct, when Trump did his serious strikes, nobody was killed. When Biden did his, people were killed.
Yeah. No, it was strategic. When Trump did it, he strategically
Yeah.
went after an airfield, right?
Yep.
To prevent like them
Further
dropping
conflict and
more. Yeah,
escalation.
right. You took out planes, you took out planes, you took out silos, you took out all this, like it was strategic. It
Wait,
was
you know what'd be funny? What if like some like Republicans had like a fucking anti-war protest to the fucking Democrats? That would be
Yes.
fucking
that would be hilarious.
it would be showing that like people be like, what the fuck's going on? Like people who don't give a shit about politics.
We
They'll be
really
like,
are in 1984, aren't we? Holy God.
Yeah, the
yeah, you
Democrats
think
are
that,
the
like,
Democrats
fucking
have always been the party of war. People forget that. Let's see, FDR, World War II, Kennedy got us into Vietnam, and look at them recently. The only one we've really has the Bushes, and well, they aren't even true Republicans.
Oh yeah. Well, like, yeah, didn't who was that got us out? Who like it wasn't Nixon that got us out?
Nixon got us out of Vietnam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Republican.
I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, Richard Nixon's this horrible person, but
No, I mean, really, they were looking to get him out. Like it was the wiretapping. People were always saying, like, look, it wasn't the wiretapping
It's a cover up.
that like there was other shit. Like they wanted to get rid of him just because of
dude, the fucking wiretapping. Look at what Obama did. Like Nixon did nothing compared to what Obama did.
Yeah.
Well, that's the joke is with Nixon. It's like, yeah, what his people did was wrong, unethical, yes, but you're in Washington D.C. What he did was like the most benign thing, the most harmless thing compared to anybody else in that town, especially today.
See, the difference is like he didn't have the fucking Patriot Act back then. If he would have had the Patriot Act, it would have been fine. If he would have, accused like who was it, George McGovern or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like if he would have said that he was like potentially involved with Russia or something, it would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the war. I mean, look. I mean, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people making money off of this fucking war. Like you had, like even during the Iraq war, you had a lot of Democrats that were investing in a whole bunch of fucking war stocks and shit. Like, this and like so war really essentially is economic cannibalism, right?
Ooh,
Like
love
for
that
us,
term.
especially, huh?
I love that term. Ooh.
Economic cannibalism, right? Because what you're doing is you're not. I mean, you're not getting anything. Like you're going to war. You're not getting anything. There's no war trophies. At least at World War II, the fucking Nazi Germany had to pay a shit ton of money to a whole bunch of countries because like here you're not gaining shit. We're spending money. They're building countries whole, like dumping trillions of dollars, and there's nothing. We're not getting anything out of it. Like so basically all these people that are getting rich off of their own fucking borrowed money. Like it's just nuts. It's fucking nuts.
By the way, I was looking to that Adam Kinzinger guy. Yes, he is Illinois dude, and they already have a challenger on him. And oh my god, if let me just put it this way, she's elected, she'll probably be one of the hottest people in Congress. And post this in the chats. Yeah. Post this in
they need to chat. And please, okay, so Republican Party, please, okay, please get competent. Yeah.
If you play the video, it looks better.
That's pretty nice. No, I have seen it too.
Solid.
But,
now that is good optics.
Yeah. That was great optics. Anyway, please drop competent candidates. Okay, please give me competent candidates. This is another. For the last couple of years, they've been doing this bullshit too, where they have a seat, and it's almost a fucking shoo-in, right? And like, as long as you're a Republican and you're not like a horrible person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you should be able to do fairly well. Who the fuck was it that ran again? Like, yeah, here I'm trying to Google shit while I'm doing this. Who ran against Joe Manchin in the last Senate race? Because like
Ooh, I forget. Yeah,
I'm
I remember
pretty
that.
sure that dude was like not a very bright guy. Like I looked at him, I'm like, wow.
To be fair, it's West Virginia. How bright?
I'm saying yes, but if just move somebody there strategically to get him to run, for fuck's sake.
People
Get
Carpetbag.
it, like
carpetbaggers are not. That's not a good idea.
it beats, but it literally beats whoever the fuck ran against Manchin the last time. Like normally I agree with you. Unfortunately, yikes.
Yeah, I
If
agree
that's
with
the
both
best
you
you
on
can
that.
do in West Virginia, holy God, get somebody else.
Well,
I
it's
bet
like,
there's better people there. That they're just,
Alabama. You remember Doug Jones winning that fucking election? When
I
the dude was fiddling people or whatever, or being accused of fiddling people,
yeah, creeping on
like
little
all
girls.
you had to do was not molest women, okay? And
I, I honest to God don't know about that one. I think that we let the Democrats take the narrative on that one. We let them win.
Honestly, it's an unwinnable narrative. It was at the peak of the Me Too era too. Like, it was bad. Like, I feel you, Alex, because I'm always the one who wants to fight them and not let them, put us on our knees or anything. But there are certain times with certain things that are simply dead ends.
There was quite a few. There was quite a few of them. There was quite a few of those complaints. It looked bad. Like it looked bad. Not. I mean, there's cases where you look at it and you're looking like, that's probably bullshit. Like the Duke lacrosse thing. I was like, it was probably bullshit.
Michael Jackson.
And it was.
Well,
Or
yeah.
No, dude, you need to see the Razor Fist videos on Michael Jackson's the most innocent man in the world.
I don't know.
Like you could tell it was bullshit. You look at some of those women that were coming forward, like I could see that. I could see that.
Like Yao too.
Yeah. It's like, with Yao, yeah, definitely. But like, yeah. So it was like all you had to do was run somebody that didn't diddle fucking girls and you'd be all right, right? Because it's fucking Alabama. They elected Jeff Sessions for like 30 fucking years.
Why did that happen to come just as this guy's running? That just seems suspicious to me. I think it was an inside job. This would have happened beforehand, but right when they're running, that doesn't sit right with me.
I feel you on
that. And he just didn't strike me as a very good candidate overall either. Like I was just like, I looked at him, I'm like, you just don't really strike me as very good. But I mean, look, you got, and what happened 4 years later? He lost to some ex-coach of Auburn that fucking was a first timer. Like, he just kind of showed up and stumbled his way into the Senate. Like, holy fuck! Like you come with just you got to come with competent people. Republican Party, you got to come with competent people. Okay, just don't fuck it up. Okay, don't fuck it up.
What'd you say? I didn't hear any of that.
There's someone that was running against who was it Doug Jones or whatever that guy, like the supposedly like rapey person. Wasn't there someone running against him? And then Trump helped that guy, like not the one.
There were I think about 3 people running against Roy, including Roy Moore, and then it came down to 2, and then Trump backed Roy Moore. I think right before this stuff came out. And it was it was already kind of a split race, in the primaries. And then when it got to the general, I forget when that stuff came out, but I might have to look it up. But, it definitely kept people home.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Patrick Morrissey, right? That was the guy that ran against Joe Manchin, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was back in 2018. So, but that won't happen until... The next one won't happen until 2024 because I think it's a 6-year term. Anyway.
Yeah, because we just took it back in 2020.
Yeah, think Manchin's pretty popular, though. I mean, it'd be pretty tough to unseat him, I would think.
I mean,
He's a little wishy-washy.
He's very wishy-washy,
Yeah.
and that is a hardcore red state, like hardcore red state, like that you're talking about, and this next election, if you run somebody confident, you run somebody competent, I think they pose a challenge. I think they could really dump Joe Manchin, just because, yeah, like
He's a
especially
Democrat, keep in mind.
Yeah,
I know that.
and yeah, they're gonna like if Joe Biden does what he's continuing to do, and he's just completely sticking it to the oil and the coal and all that stuff, like, yeah, West Virginia will be hit really hard, and they're going to want to make someone pay, and Joe Manchin looks like a great candidate for that one.
Well, speaking of Kinzinger again, by the way, I just started to hate him even more, because Marjorie Taylor Greene, the supposed Q congresswoman, as the left likes to say, I've grown to really like her, because
I like her a ton. But anyway,
I know, because her neighbor in Congress, because they have all their offices there, put up a trans flag, like, "Ooh, I'm so progressive," and so Marjorie Taylor Greene responds by putting up a fucking sign that says there are two genders, male and female. Trust the science. Awesome. We need more of that. That is epic. That is memeable. That is viral. That is powerful. That is bold. I just love it so much.
The left is all about science until it doesn't fit their fucking narrative. Then it's like,
no, she stuck it to him.
What do you think the chances that Taylor Greene stays in?
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, she gets reelected. I mean,
she will get a challenger. Definitely. Like, the establishment will try to challenge her, but it's like with AOC. They get the good name recognition, they know their area well, and she's in a good pretty deep red area. She's going to keep it.
Trump won that fight. Trump won her district by a fucking mile, like a country mile. Like, as long as she just doesn't, as long as she stays defending what she was elected to defend, she'll be there for as long as she wants to be.
Yeah, she stays true to MAGA, America First. She stays, because that's what these primaries are all going to be about. Are you going to pick the MAGA candidate or the establishment candidate? That's going to be the fight. And with this dude Kinzinger, he quote tweets Taylor Greene's awesome video of her putting up the sign, and he says, This is sad, and I'm sorry this happened. Oh, you're going to apologize for her. Oh my God. Representative Newman's daughter is transgender, and this video and tweet represents the hate and fame-driven politics of self-promotion at all evil costs. Oh my God. I'm in tears. This garbage must end in order to #restore our GOP. Fuck that. Get out of here with that. Nope. We don't want you, Kinzinger. We want to restore the GOP by getting you out.
Yeah, I think, I think I might have to donate to this girl's campaign.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'm already pissed. I'm like, no, we get Kinzinger the fuck out.
Yeah, get.
By the way,
Catalina
and then, like, definitely. I know we've said this shit at nauseum, but I just, like, no, I don't care what anybody says. There's no such thing as transphobia. There's no such thing. It's not real. Okay, you can't hate something that isn't, like, real. Okay, it's not like what? Oh, I'm against imaginary shit. Like, no, you're fucking. There's two genders. There's male, female. When you were born, did you have a penis or a vagina? That answers your question, right? There's no, oh well, well, I was born in the wrong gender. No, you were born in the right fucking gender when you came out, right? That was the correct gender.
Like, who the fuck are these people thinking that they know their body more than, like, fucking biology? Like,
and the problem is, it's like, well, I mean, this is this again, you're talking about mental illness, right? Gender dysmorphia, that's a mental illness. It's in the fucking DSM-5, right?
Was.
It is a
No, they take.
yeah.
They
Look up gender dysmorphia.
unclassified as a mental disorder now.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
How
Of
is
course they did.
like how is transgenderism like a fucking not a mental disorder, but like autism is?
It's
Ooh,
Yeah.
hot take. I like that.
yeah. I mean, exactly. You have you can be like, you can be a guy and have feminine features, or you could be a woman and have masculine features. All of that shit is okay. The problem is you gotta like when you start doing medical shit to try to change your fucking gender. Like, yeah, that's or you just like decide to take puberty blockers. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, yo, you're taking medication that reverses your natural biology. Like, yeah, no, that's mental illness. You need to,
Yeah. And I
you need
think
help
what people, on the left are so out of touch with, and we'll talk about the bigger story that is related to this, is most Americans, whether they'll publicly say it or not, believe that transgenderism is mental illness. They'll try to understand it. They'll try, but at the end of the day, they know that's what it is. And look, I don't hate trans people. I don't hate people that are mentally ill or that have any mental conditions. I don't. I'm not saying it to be provocative or mean or edgy or whatever. It's the denial of reality that we have an issue with, okay?
Yeah.
Especially from the science party. The science party,
You're telling me you're gonna hang on? You're gonna hang on to Dr. Fauci and all his bullshit, but you're not gonna you're gonna just kind of, let's just embrace the transgenders and all that. Like, no, like, yo, pick a side and stick with it, okay? Because this is some flip-flopping bullshit, okay?
Someone should ask Fauci, are there two genders and are traps gay? Anybody does that, they get a Medal of Honor from me. That'd be epic. But what happened is, over this week, Dr. Rachel Levine was testifying because I don't know what you call it testifying, but whatever. She's in front of fucking Senate. And because she's getting nominated to be our health secretary. That's right. A transgender person is going to be our health secretary. And
not just a transgender person either, like a transgender obese person.
Transgender obese and takes her family out of nursing homes and sends COVID people into them in our great state of Pennsylvania, while hers are safe and sound. So yeah, that's who we're dealing with here. I mean, say what you will about her mental issues, but she's just a really messed up person in other ways. With what she was doing with the nursing homes, that to me is just wrong on so many levels. Cuomo did the same thing, wrong, and they're trying to cover it up. The only senator, the only one, and I am normally frustrated with him because he's a goofy libertarian, that had the balls to ask her the only question that mattered than the nursing home question is about her on video promoting, advocating for, and endorsing hormone blocking on minors. And he was the only one to ask her about it. And she gave how'd she word? I'm trying to find the quote, but the typical non-answer answer. She wouldn't answer it because she knew it's a touchy subject that most people think is fucked up. Yeah, no pun intended. Most people think it's insane. And he made a great point that's basically genital mutilation. And she never denied she supported it or still supports it. So he got her. Him.
Yeah, but will people make a big enough deal to go and cancel that?
No, and that's the sad part is Cassandra Fairbanks had a tweet about that where she said that she was being told by Republicans, that she knew on the inside, I guess the news senators or were senators. I'm trying to find the exact tweet, But she basically said that, oh yeah, I found. She says, Senate source tells me that they expect Levine to get confirmed because, quote, pussy Republicans are scared to go against the trans, unquote. Their exact words. That tells you they don't have balls. They don't stand for anything.
Dude, fucking Rachel Levine has bigger balls than these people.
Unironically, yes.
God, see, and I bet he never even got his fucking cock chopped off too. Like what? Like you call yourself transgender, at least fucking cut off your cock.
Yeah, go all the way.
Yeah, like
it's all or nothing, baby.
Have more respect, you know, if some of these people would actually go through with it. 'Cause at least, you know, it's how you know you're not fucking kidding around. You're not just a dude in a dress.
Can we just realize, like, can we all just agree the simple fact that this is not normal? I mean, it seems like we can't even agree on that.
Dude, they're pushing on kids. Like, you know, I don't know if you want to go chop your fucking cock off. That's, you're right.
It's like,
mutilate yourself if you want to do that. If you want to get circumcised, you know,
as an
I don't care.
And they're like shaming people for refusing to date transgender people. Like,
no,
fuck you. Like, yo, like you're gonna tell me, oh, if you don't suck that tranny's cock, you're a fucking phobe, and you need to leave this world, motherfucker. Like, no. Can we all be normal people and say that is some weird fucking shit? Like, yo,
what started all this? You know what started all this?
The gay movement.
The gay marriage.
Yep.
That's what caused all this to happen. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, because that's when we basically, you know, gave up.
No, I totally agree, and I've come to that realization too, because when I was talking to my girlfriend, who's more socially liberal than me, definitely, she even said, because she was watching Netflix, and she saw all the overtly blatant gay propaganda that's on there. Like, look, I've come around the issue, and at the time of the gay marriage court ruling, I said, you know what? This was something I was wrong on. I think gay marriage is perfectly fine, and it aligns with my principles of freedom. But the conservatives from the 90s were telling us, no, we can't give on this one because this is the first step. It's only going to get worse. They're going to start shoving down our kids' throats. And we all thought they were crazy. And even my socially liberal girlfriend was saying, holy shit, they were right the whole time. I couldn't believe, like, it's amazing.
I think it was, I think the part where it really went crazy was when they came up with the term LGBT. Because they band together. Because, like, you know,
once they had the T.
Once they added the LGBT thing, because then they added that T part to it. It's like, because some people, you know, people have been gay since like the fucking God knows how long.
They're gay animals.
Get lesbians and bisexuals. Okay. But the T part, yeah, you know, you're trying to fucking pretend you're something that you're not, and trying to.
It has nothing to do with all the other letters.
Yourself.
That's the thing. It's all about who you love, and T has. That sounds weird. T has nothing to do with who you love. It doesn't. It has to do with changing your sex or your gender, whatever the fuck you want to think you're changing.
Well, see, back in the day, I think it meant something different. Like transgender back in like the fucking 80s, that was like a dude who was gay, and you knew he was gay, dressing up in drag and having sex. And then
that was like people had different people had different, like, I don't know. Because the 80s, like even like the 70s and the 80s, like there was a lot of, you know, of drugs being pushed in fucking gay clubs and shit like that, where people just wanted to hump something. They didn't give a shit if it was a dude or a chick. Like, yeah, no, I mean that's serious. Like, you know, you have like that's like part of the disco club. They were passing around all kinds of, like, you know, passing out all kinds of drugs that just like made you fucking incredibly crazy horny, where you just wanted to fucking just stick your dick in anything, like anything that was warm and wet. But like that but even then it was like I was able to kind of like go, oh well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like most of the Christian base kind of consider it kind of disgusting, but at least, you know, there wasn't like a change in biology as there is with the T portion. Like you're
Right.
trying to alter your fucking gender completely. Like, you know, that to me, that was what the beginning of the fucked upness, like the where it like went exponentially crazy.
Yeah, it's a shame because it makes the rest of the people, well, the rest of the alphabet letters look bad, you know, because people start clumping them together,
Yeah.
and you know, it's unfortunate because people that are gay and they're normal people, it's like it will either be something you don't discover for, you know, till they tell you, or if you do notice it, they don't make it a big deal. But these trans people, it's like everything's about it.
Some of those gay people, yeah, to be fair,
No,
like
some do.
if
I'm
you're very,
saying when they're cool, when they're normal, like there's a lot of them that are pretty chill about. It's not a big deal. With these people, it is a big deal with all of them. You know, that's what I'm saying. It's a little. It's the ratio's different. It's like it's all they talk about. It's all they think about. It's like, oh my god.
like anything to the left, it starts out with something that a lot of people are like agree with. It's like, okay, let's legalize marijuana. You know, like it starts out with something like that, and
Yeah.
sooner or later, like fucking crackheads on the street. Like, look at California. Oh, let's legalize marijuana. Let's go and decriminalize like arresting homeless people. Like, it sounds like a good idea in paper because, like, you know, those people, you know, no one wants to be homeless. You know, shit happens. I, you know, feel bad for them. But then they start decriminalizing a lot of things, make it so you can't be arrested for like, you know, public urination. Like, okay, like, you know, that sounds reasonable relatively. You know, like, do you really need to go to jail for this? No. But then it just goes and it gets to a point where you don't want to live there. You know, where it becomes like you have these like people shitting and pissing and like having sex and chewing up heroin on the street. And now you can't raise your kids there because they got like, you know, you have to go and have a fucking app to avoid stepping in human feces.
Well,
Like,
look at Oregon. They went from legalizing marijuana to now legalizing more hard drugs. I think
what hard drugs they legalized there?
I'm pretty sure it was. I need to double check. I thought it was like cocaine, crack, maybe heroin. I don't know if they went that far.
They fucking legalizing crack.
I think they went like full libertarian up there. Hi, Mill for life.
Like decriminal, like there's a difference. Let's be, you know, like there's a difference between legalization and decriminalization.
I know, but again, it's the next steps are doing. First, it's like decriminalize weed, legalize weed. Now it's like, oh, let's decriminalize drugs. Yeah, oh, I think they decriminalized all drugs, possession of all drugs.
Yeah, there was one there. I was looking at, there was one, like, what was a Columbia professor or something like that. It was like, oh, I use heroin to like level off. I'm like,
The fuck?
what? What?
Level off. Is that
Like,
the phrase they use?
like it was something along those lines. It was
my
like,
God.
like, you know, to be fair, there's some people who can fucking do it. Like my one old roommate, you'd be surprised the drugs that motherfucker did. You know,
Wasn't that the
I mean,
crazy one that you thought was gonna do something
no,
crazy?
not the crazy one. The crazy one didn't do any drugs.
What was that?
No, the
you
one,
started going in and out.
the crazy one didn't do any drugs.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even drink like more than like a beer at a time. But no, you know the one roommate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're talking about then.
He did like all sorts of fucking drugs.
So the thing with Oregon, it says, according to AP, police in Oregon can no longer arrest someone for possession of small amounts of heroin, meth, LSD, Oxycontin, and other drugs.
All right, I agree with the LSD and but everything else.
Yeah, LSD is the only one I have leniency on. Everything else, no way. No.
Fucking oxy, like, well, well, if you have it without prescription, like, well, I guess you know you're not gonna be pulled over for having a prescription with you.
It says those now in possession of those drugs I just listed would face a $100 fine or a health assessment that could lead to addiction counseling. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Even though I don't think people should be locked up for like having drugs, I think that's a little silly. But there needs to be some sort of stigma against it, or consequence, or rehabilitation. But rehab isn't as like lovely as people like to think it is. Like, oh, you just go to rehab and everything's better. It's
Yeah,
not.
do rehab fucking? It just doesn't. I don't know. I mean, Phil, that's
That's
you
Phil's
probably
alleyway. He could probably tell us.
yeah. Do you think, Phil, like with your knowledge of that subject, do you think that's a smart idea of what they're fucking doing down there?
Up there.
No, I mean, like, I think it's just dumb for a lot of reasons. Just like there's for a myriad of fucking reasons. Um, First off, like, okay, so you're decriminalizing all like, there's drugs with serious fucking consequences, like hard drugs with serious goddamn consequences. You don't want people driving on LSD or heroin or anything like that. Like, you will get in an accident and you're probably gonna be dead. Like,
And kill other people.
You would drive on LSD. Like, I mean, I'm sure
We know
someone
someone that might.
but like,
yeah, I mean,
not want to drive on LSD.
yeah. But the problem is when you're on drugs, reality escapes you. Like, reality, if you take enough drugs, eventually reality tends to escape you, and like your frontal lobe is gone. Like, your mental, like your the part of your brain that has like like impulse control is gone. So you're just like, well, fuck it. Like, because they talk about alcohol being liquid courage. Like, no, that's your fucking alcohol. When you drink it, it fucks up your frontal lobe, and it takes away your impulse control. Like, sometimes having an impulse control is kind of good. That's like the part of your brain that's like, maybe you shouldn't fucking say that shit. And no, I mean, this, it's ridiculous. No, you, like, drugs, and it's not just like even with drugs, it's not just you. It's not just the user's life that tends to get ruined.
Yep.
It's the family, it's the friends, it's the, like, I mean, like, people that just get associated with that individual. Like, it just, like, it can have ripple effects throughout an entire community. Like,
That's
and I
always
mean,
been my thing against these libertarians that, like, you can put whatever you want in your body as long as it doesn't affect others. I can do whatever drug I want. It's not affecting you. It's like,
no,
well,
how about,
is it though?
yeah.
How about your family? How about your friends? How about your job? How about other people in your life? It's kind of like, I know it's a different thing because people don't say about this, but like, suicide's a good example of something that's like, yeah, you're just the one that's taking your life, but everybody around you is feeling the pain. You don't feel the pain when you pull that trigger, but everybody else does.
If you go and legalize fucking, all these sort of hard drugs too, like, what about pregnant women? Then you're gonna have like the baby who's born with a fucking heroin addiction.
Yeah. Drugs are a tricky thing because on the one hand, there is if you tell people not to do something, they kind of want to do that thing because it's like, ooh, why don't they want me to do it? But on the other hand, you need to control people so that they don't do crazy shit and society becomes a degenerate hellhole. What was that? You got cut off. I couldn't hear you.
We say the same thing about murder and rape too. Like, oh, society tells you not to do those things. That doesn't mean people, like,
that's a different thing because murder, first of all, that takes a lot more. You should have to be a psychopath, and you're taking somebody's life. Like, that's the point of it. With drugs, it's like, oh, this is gonna be a fun thing that I only feel like it's not gonna really hurt anyone. Let's just try it. Let's just try it, man. Well, like, just try. What can go wrong, man? And then you get in this sort of mindset, and then who knows what happens? Some people, they do things, and that's all. They don't like it. They don't do it again. Some people, they're hooked on whatever it is first time they do it. Like heroin. Just a lot of people, first time they do it, done. You're stuck on it, or you die if you take too much.
Yeah, they lace it with fentanyl.
That's the other thing that people always forget, especially nowadays, is you don't know where the fuck that shit's coming from. You don't know what's on it. One tiny bit of fentanyl can kill you.
Oh yeah, but then that's then the excuse. Oh
for
well,
legalizing.
see, if we legalize drugs, they won't put fentanyl in it. Yeah, but then you also we had legal drugs like legal heroin at one point.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
like it was like heroin's a fucking patented. It's a patent. So I think someone has a patent on heroin.
Wow.
It was invented. It wasn't just I mean, it was supposed to be a what was it? A less damaging or like a less addictive morphine.
Mm-hmm.
Like same thing like cocaine. Like it was supposed to get people off of heroin and alcohol.
How'd that work out?
Should it probably worked. Why drink when you can just do coke?
That's what the people in the Wolf of Wall Street said, right?
Yeah. Speaking of Wall Street, how's what's been the latest news with the game stocks?
GME, baby, came back to refuel. It's been interesting, very interesting. I haven't done enough research to say what's going on. I don't even know if anybody really knows what's going on, but what we do know is that it had a little bit of a jump, came a little back down. It could keep doing this, who knows, but it's been very interesting. I'll pull it up on the Robinhood that unfortunately I'm still stuck on with that shit, but it's been very interesting, and it's possible. I still think that a lot of these shorts that they had before haven't closed, but I also think that they try to short that shit again, and that's why what happened kind of happened. But it's a very weird thing. But there's been some action. I forget the thing I did find. I'll look it up on my DMs, but there was some autist on Wall Street Bets found some interesting data on some moves that were being made on GME. It was like, oh God, what was it? It's about selling millions of ETFs. Yeah, that's what it. I don't know the relation it has to this, but it was very interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious about that with the ETFs, because don't the ETFs have to own the stock?
So I'm gonna read parts of it really quickly because there's probably a TLDR. This guy says they are shorting GME via 63 different ETFs. Yeah, so I guess that's basically what he's saying. TLDR, millions of shares being sold short today, trying to get people to panic sell data from 9:45 a.m. Yeah, so I guess there's stuff like that happening.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It is very interesting because people are like, oh, it's all over. And then this happens, and it's like, maybe it is, not going to go super high. Maybe it will. We don't know. We do not know. That's the thing. Yeah, it shot up to at its peak. Interestingly, too, this was all happening in after hours. The big spikes. Like the first big spike, it got up to like 150. It dipped down, started climbing again, got up to 177. Dipped down, and kind of kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now it's sitting at about $100, 99.5.
Yeah, I'd be very cautious with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Deep,
I'm happy I didn't get involved.
Deep went even deeper. Deep fucking value, who testified, he doubled the amount of shares he has, so he's going in deep.
Isn't someone suing him now too?
I think someone is trying to, yeah.
Jesus, I feel bad for that guy.
Dude, he did nothing wrong.
I mean, yeah.
He's a saint. Absolute hero. Let me see. Oh God, when you Google his his Reddit name, if you just Google deep fucking value, his real name comes up now. That's crazy.
Yeah, how does he feel about being doxxed by CNN?
Oh God, he probably hates them.
He's not the only person, you know. CNN's like probably the most prolific doxing organization. It's not even a news organization; it's a fucking doxing organization.
Yes. Yeah, they are. Oh my god, he said I like the stock during his testimony. For those who don't know, that's become a meme. Because Kramer did this thing, like, this is part of the meme, is like Kramer was talking about GameStop, and he goes like, we like the stock, we like the stock, we like the stock, and like, people made that meme. Because Redditors just say like, oh, I'm not a financial advisor, I just like the stock. Yeah, it's fine. Oh, he's got a wiki page now. He's got an extensive wiki page. Holy shit.
4chan has a Wikipedia, you know.
Yeah, but that's 4chan.
4chan, I meant Chris Chan.
Oh, Chris Chan. Well, that's Chris Chan. He's the most documented man on the internet, as you say.
Random autist, like severely autistic guy who got exposed on the internet. Did nothing of significance in his life other than like fucking spray someone in the face with pepper spray at a GameStop.
Oh, of course it's GameStop.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that brings it all back.
Oh god, the internet, dude, you're right, man. I'm starting to believe in a higher power now, or at least a fucking simulation. It's too much.
Dude, I wonder what would happen. Like, dude, he'd get so pissed off if GameStop ever went under.
I bet he bought in.
Dude, I don't think he did. He's too stupid to know how to do.
I think
he probably paid. Like, at most, he would have like paid someone to like do it, and then they would have just scanned him because it's fucking Chris Chan.
I think there's a plan. I mean, I think there's like a plan for another run.
Plan on the side of Reddit or on the side of Wall Street?
On the side of Reddit. I think there's like, you have somebody that owns that much fucking, like, that much as far as shares go. I think they're positioning themselves to kind of make another run. They're just
well,
Deep
Deep Value has been saying publicly in his videos, when I first got in on this and I was watching his videos, he technically is not holding for the squeezes, but he did see them coming, and he was telling people about for months.
Yeah.
He's holding for long term because he thinks GameStop is going to come back with Ryan Cohen in charge and turn into a digital hub. So I think he's playing both games technically. You know, it's like, hey, if it shoots up in the short term, I'll sell a chunk and hold a bunch for long term, you know, in case it goes up even more in the long term. I think that's how he's playing it. But yeah, I still don't think this is over. I feel like there will be a point when it shoots up insanely high, and that's when we know it's over, or it shoots down insanely low for a long time, and that's when we know it's over. Because this thing had like a $40 floor, and then that's when it kind of went back up. I'm excited. Still holding too.
I'm looking up other tweets. CNN reinstates ban on Chris Cuomo interviewing.
Good. That's funny.
Doing stories on Governor Brother. Yeah. So apparently there's like a second chick that's came forward that said that Governor Cuomo harassed her or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that, because nobody's talking about that. Cuomo.
Yeah, let's talk about the crazy stuff.
I didn't hear anything you said. What was that?
Did we ever talk about him in general, like the fact that he's getting like impeached or something? Is he getting impeached?
No, he's getting investigated. He's getting investigated for the nursing home crises, which we all know something bad happened there. Either he tried to cover it up, or he fucked up, or both. And what's also coming out is that he's getting Me Too'd. And I could see it, number one, and I've heard from Jacob Wohl, so take that however you want, but Jacob Wohl says that that Andrew Cuomo beat the shit out of Kirsten Gillibrand after sexually assaulting her.
Jesus, what a piece of shit. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with this fucker. You know, he's in New York. There's a lot of dirty, disgusting, fucked up things that happen in that city. So I wouldn't be. Don't color me surprised if they find out.
And let's be real. There's a correlation between ugly people and powerful people. When they're in power and they're ugly, Harvey Weinstein, Andrew Cuomo, I'd stay away if I were a female and a male. You never know.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know. I just like the ugly ones are like usually the ones that tend to be the rich ones, the ones that get money, and they get money become more. They tend to become more successful because they have to, like, yo,
They can't get it, so they gotta pull it.
It's like, I'm not getting any pussy, so I'm gonna be an engineer. I'll show these guys.
You know what? That makes me think. Like, I'm surprised New York City doesn't have legalized prostitution. You know, you'd think like I've all places.
I mean,
you know, it's a fucking shithole.
define legal.
Like shithole. May as well make some money off it. You know, I'm surprised.
Dude, they have Wall Street. They've already got legalized prostitution. What the fuck are you talking about?
Pretty much, yeah. No, but I mean, like, dude, they're obviously there are whores in New York, but like,
Oh no, there is, but why? Like, you'd think that the fucking New York City would want to go make some money off these whores.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I want to tax them. Thought audit part 2.
I'm sure.
Out of the plots.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, there are. I mean, they're called agencies.
Yes.
How's that? Like, how are those things not all busted?
Like talent agencies and shit like that.
Like,
No, I mean, they don't, because well, here's the thing. Like, I mean, prostitution is not really a. I mean, it's not really a it's not really a punishable thing. The only stuff that's really punishable is really like the sex trafficking part of it, where they're peddling like foreigners illegally and all that shit,
dude,
or like kids and all that shit. Like that's probably the more fucked up shit. But like, I mean, like as far as people being in agencies and shit like that, they don't fucking care, because I think the Supreme Court rule that like you can pay to hang around somebody, but like, so like you have escorts, you don't have whores, you have escorts, which you're like, oh, you're paying for the date. But like if you're paying like thousands of dollars for this chick to fucking hang out with you, obviously there's probably going to be some diddling going on.
It's just so sad. I mean,
Like
Jesus.
if you're paying a porn star fucking 10 grand plus to hang out for an hour, clearly there's probably going to be some fucking going on. But
they're not just eating lunch.
yeah, they're not having quinoa salads and shit. Okay, there's probably going to be some bowling going on.
Well, they could just be having a speaking tour. Look at like how much Hillary Clinton charges. You know, she's very expensive fucking prostitute at that level. Was it like $60 million for like a fucking hour-long dinner speech?
Oh God!
Like, can't get anything close to that. I don't know if I ever told you about this, but like I remember a few weeks ago or like a few months ago, I remember having to do a fucking COVID, like on the phone, like, you know, see if I had the symptoms or whatever, like see if I could go and get a like for the COVID test. And they charged me like fucking, I think it was like over $60 for less than, it was over $300, I think, for less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like,
dude,
there's
big
fucking
pharma's a ripoff.
There's phone sex companies that charge significantly less than that. Like fuck, what are those ladies doing? Just be a fucking operator on a COVID line. You make way more money.
Hey, maybe that should be my next job.
Yeah, fuck. Just hey, you know, were you around anyone who had COVID? All right, when would you like to get started? Like, it's literally, and that was like fucking insane for less than a 10-minute conversation.
They're probably playing Animal Crossing while they do it.
I could have fucking talked to Donald Trump. It probably would have cost me less money while he was president than to go and deal with these people on a permanent basis. Like, it is insane.
Yeah.
And that's what the insurance paid for it all. So, like, no wonder fucking healthcare is so expensive in this country. Like, there is levels of either fraud or fucking, graft going on. I don't know what you want to call it. Some
Competency.
level of fucked up, billing shit that doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
at the prices.
Well, something that does actually kind of make some sense is that AOC is actually being consistent. She's making some sense here. She says she is calling for an investigation into, quote, extraordinary serious Cuomo sexual harassment allegations. Hey, say what you will. She's being consistent. At least on this one.
She probably wants his position.
Yeah, she probably does, actually.
He's the old guard of New York. She's the new blood.
No, it's going to be Andrew Yang. Or he's running for mayor, sorry, not governor. But yeah, see, that actually, it makes sense because look, say what you will about her, but what she did in Texas was smart as shit. When Ted Cruz was in Cancun, she went down there and started handing out food. Yeah, it's a photo op. Yeah, it's all about her ill intent, but it's a good look. It's smart. It's strategic. The lady from New York is helping the people in Texas while the Texas senator is nowhere to be seen and is on vacation. The facts of it don't matter in this case, but the optics and the look is smart on her end, and makes her look good and Cruz look bad.
She's got a good team. I refuse to give AOC any credit. I think she has extremely good team, like a extremely good team around her, and she did. Like she's had like from campaigning perspectives, from PR perspectives. Like you got it. It looks like she's got a pretty good team. Like she's probably got a really good publicist. She's probably got a really good finance people. She's probably got really good, campaign people. She's probably got she's got a good team, which, that you could be dumb as a box of rocks, but if you got a good team like that could withstand anything. Look at Joe Biden, right? Look at Joe Biden. Obviously that dude has dementia, but what? Well, you spend big money on all kinds of campaign and all that shit. Like, look, sometimes that's pretty much what matters most. Like your ability to hire the right people. And look, these are teachable moments too for everybody. Like, look, you're one big quality that makes a leader successful or unsuccessful is your ability to hire good people, right? Hire good people and you will be more successful than not. Hire shitty people and you might be ruined with the quickness. You could be the best or the worst. You could be the smartest or the dumbest, but if you have the ability to hire the right people, then yeah,
I think that was probably Trump's biggest flaw too. Is like he hired the fucking wrong people in a lot of places, and I think that.
Well, by the by the time he he really didn't.
Who was he gonna hire?
Yeah, well, some of his hires were good, and some of them were really bad. Like some of them were really bad. Like the intelligent, like I don't think, like if Trump would have kept Richard Grenell on, I don't, and see probably there's a couple of issues though. Like by the time he really kind of got figured out, he already lost the House. Like that really handicapped him for some of the stuff that he would have been really able to do. Like the first hires, some of them were okay, but like,
and some of them got screwed by the deep state, like Flynn.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like the reason this happens because you need a top to bottom, bottom to top overhaul.
Yep.
That's how it's going to need to happen.
And you need people. Not only that, you need people that are going to pass through the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you can confirm.
Yeah.
And
that's a tricky thing.
You're not going to be able to You're not going to be able to pass the people that ultimately you want to.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Like that, and that's the thing people, because I do agree, kind of both of you, because it's just it's the system we're dealing with, and you gotta learn how to play it. You gotta learn how to stack in your favor. And where did that article go? And with Cuomo though, the allegations are that he with the first woman, she says that he did unwanted kissing and touching. I think he asked her like, if she had sex with older men. And she also says that he created a culture within his administration where sexual harassment and bullying is so pervasive that it's not only condoned but expected. Sounds like rape culture to me, or Yao-Con. And the other woman said that Cuomo allegedly asked her, "Let's play strip poker." What the fuck? Can you imagine Cuomo saying that?
That's bad, but
They said they met on a one-on-one briefing where Cuomo allegedly kissed her. We were in his New York City office on 3rd Avenue. As I got up to leave and walked toward the door, he stepped in front of me and kissed me on the lips. I was in shock, but I kept walking. Oh my god. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Cuomo. They're the darling of the left right now. Oh, darling is no more. Actually, here's an interesting question. Well, I mean, we've kind of already talked about this, but let's say Biden does not run in 24. Do they run Kamala, or do they run somebody else?
We have to go. I don't think we know enough yet.
I think we still need some time too. But yeah, because they were trying to push him for president candidate, but I don't think that's gonna happen now. I think he's screwed.
Yeah, they're gonna have to fucking.
Dude, I was hearing that like, what was I was listening to like Larry Elder, and like apparently he said, and take this what you will.
Yeah.
Like he said, he knows some people who are like, what you call it, like Secret Service or whatever, and like they're saying that like fucking Biden's cognitive decline is like really bad. Like it's getting like noticed by a lot more people, and it's like getting harder and harder to hide.
Well, didn't supposedly he at Camp David, like first of all, apparently his like bedtime 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know if that's true, but apparently his bedtime is 7. And apparently when he was at Camp David, he was playing Mario Kart.
I saw that. Like the Mario Kart, I don't care, but the bedtime at 7 p.m. that's a bit of a problem.
Well, and also with the SYRIA strikes, I think Kamala did not know it was going to happen, but Jack Posobiec knew it. And I don't know if Biden fully. There's some weird about that. Like I was seeing Posobiec tweet about that. I'll find the tweets, but I think Biden knew. Kamala didn't until like it happened and she saw in the news. And I'll give your tweet a like, Phil. And
Yep.
Posobiec, Jack Posobiec knew before the vice president. Like what?
I think she probably wasn't paying attention.
What was she doing?
I don't know.
She doing her hair? Like I thought she's the one which is what I've always thought is they keep Biden in so she can do all the dirty stuff behind the scenes where nobody's looking, quietly.
I think it's probably fucking messy. He probably hid it from her.
But why? That's what's really weird is why? Why, Joe? Let's see if I can find his tweets. I gotta scroll down. Oh my god, Jack Posobiec took the UPenn logo and he said cancel Biden because Biden's speaking in front of it, and he made like the Nazi symbol thing that they were doing with the CPAC stage.
Yeah, like that thing's retarded. That is just the most stupidest fucking meme I think I've ever seen.
Oh, well, speaking of, we didn't mention the big hypocrisy of CPAC. They kicked it all off before the event even started. Well, this event, they always have a theme every year. Last year was like, something like socialism sucks, but wasn't socialism sucks. Something stupid, something boring. This year it was America Uncanceled, which was freaking ironic on so many levels because we all know they canceled Milo's speaking gig with them and canceled other people and booted out Loomer and Gavin and Alex Jones and InfoWars from CPAC. So they've canceled people, peak hypocrisy. They didn't even vet their own freaking speakers they were having this year, and they had some dude named Black Pharaoh.
The fucking weed gangs. Like, unironically.
We had an unironic black, like we was Kangs or slipped through the cracks. Because they probably were like, oh my god.
They probably thought it was like, oh, it's a black, conservative.
Oh, base black man. Yeah, we got one. And which, look, I'm all for the optics, for bringing people into the movement. Yeah, like, I get it.
It's literally the same shit they accuse the left of doing. He's a diversity hire that they did no fucking background on.
Exactly. And they find out later, ooh, some tweets about the Jews that really weren't kosher, no pun intended, and about, other races. Like, apparently, like, I don't know if it's true, but, like, he's been accused of being a black supremacist, anti-Semite. So, yeah, bad optics. So then they cancel him from their own event, entitled America Uncanceled. And, yeah, now we're here today. I mean, I've been to CPAC. I know you've been there too, Alex. We all know it's a joke. It's an establishment circle jerk, and it's really cucked. But holy shit, could it get any worse? Well, it just did.
That's hilarious that they actually brought. Like, they thought of bringing him.
I mean, couldn't they tell from the title, Black Pharaoh? Couldn't an intern, like a young intern, be like, we may want to double check this guy?
Dude, I used to see him like when I used to work in Pittsburgh. Like, I would see him all the fucking time, like those black Israelites. Like, they would say some pretty vile shit.
They're out there. They're woke. They're really woke.
I remember like when Mr. Medicare did that he did videos on those people.
Yo, Alyssa Milano was one of the people that tweeted out about the Nazi stage. How dense is she?
She is mentally unstable. Absolutely, she is 100% mentally unstable.
Like, I get the people they're joking about, but fuck.
Yeah, have you ever heard her talk? Like I.
Thankfully, no.
I've seen her, like, yeah, you hear her talk, and it's like, wow, you are not all together up there.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, that's ultimately what it comes down to, because the left does have people that are intelligent. I think that they're just mentally unstable. A lot of them are just mentally out there, like very mentally out there, or they're being paid to push some bullshit. One of the two. I mean, if you're running, look, if you're like, and let's be real, if you're on one of the mainstream media channels, like, dude, you know why they're pushing bullshit, because they're getting paid to push it. But like if you're on Twitter and you're pushing it, like, yo, you fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's on
like,
you.
Yo, it's like yeah, it's like the I don't know. It's like the I don't want to say the groupie, but like it's like the one that's the one that's blowing the security guard in the fucking at the concert and hoping to get backstage. Like, no, you're a tard. No, I don't know. It's like, no, you're never gonna meet the band. You just blew the fucking security guard. That's good job. No, but you're like these people are knucking futs, man. Just like and going back to Twitter, it's like when you're mentally unstable and you're on Twitter, it's just a terrible combination, because it teams you up with other mentally ill codependents just like you, like fucking, and then you're just like, oh, I agree with their crazy idea. Like, no, you're all nuts. You all need Jesus, meds, and some fucking counseling.
Isn't it amazing that all these people, they like stick together, they never condemn each other, they just keep moving on. Whenever we have like a crazy, it's like disavow. Oh, you didn't disavow. It's like, Wow. What a difference.
It's like, I'm gonna ruin you. Yeah, fucking. Let's see. Hold on. Rose McGowan, who is
Oh
also nuts,
God.
but
Wait,
every
wait,
now and again, look. But
that
even a bro, look.
was she the
Even,
one with candles that smell like her cooch?
uh, I don't know, but I wouldn't discount it, but I don't know. Uh, but every now and again, she actually says something that's like kind of semi sort of legit. You know, like a broken clock is right twice a day. Anywho, um, she's like, evil lives and it's bombing Syria. Joe Biden, you are pure evil. Like, well,
Whoa.
there, she has called out. Look, and to be fair, she has called out people. Like, she has called out the Democratic Party, and she has called out like some fake people. She's called out Alyssa Milano. She had like, I'm like, well, you know, yeah, that whole broken clock twice a day thing. Anyway, um, but yeah, she is kind of nutty. She did, you know, she hung out. She did go out with Marilyn Manson, which, you
Oh
know, again,
boy.
that's another can of worms. But anyway, uh, yes, Joe Biden was, you know, that is pretty evil of Joe Biden. Even though, like, okay, so like bombing Syria because they uh did they kill I'm not even sure what they kill a soldier or something like that, either a soldier or a U.S. citizen or something like that. Which I don't know. I think that's a little out there, but okay. Like you like if like I understood why Trump did it because like they were gassing, like dude was gassing his own people. Like okay,
Bombs are virtue signals. Like that's all.
like yeah.
Like this
But
is
there's I don't like bombing. I mean I don't like bombing in general, but like there's at least some things that I can kind of go, oh, like even from a military standpoint, I'm like I look at it, I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Well, the
Or you
way
know,
Trump did it, I have no problem with because
it was
it kept us
strategic.
out of
It was
wars.
strategic. There was no casualties, and like you did it for really what's essentially a humanitarian reason.
what
Okay.
what did the bombing accomplish for Trump?
Eh,
It prevented further escalation.
Did
yeah.
it did like did it do anything though, or was it
Yeah,
just
it
like oh
prevented
God,
Yeah.
further
It,
escalation. That's what he. And
even if it was, yeah,
look
even
at
if it
with
was, yeah.
Iran. Iran's the best example. They kept trying. Will they steal one of our ships or attack them? Our oil ships. Trump takes out their general. Boom. They stopped. They
well no,
stopped.
like that makes sense, but like did that bombing of that like empty aircraft hangar or whatever do anything?
Took out a lot of their
Yeah.
planes. Yeah.
Yeah, it took out a lot of their resources. They weren't able to gas people and shit. Like, yo, you look at Joe Biden's thing, right? He bombed some Iranian backed shit. What happened? Some more Iranian backed militias started chucking bombs at fucking Saudi Arabia and shit. Like, yo, I mean, like, it didn't like Joe Biden's. Not only did it not do anything, it likely had a fucking opposite effect. Like, whereas, you know, I mean, it kept like there was at least plans about when Donald Trump did it. There was at least some sort of calculation toward doing it. I think there was like Joe Biden's appeared a little bit more erratic. Like,
Well, that's why I'm wondering. What is the point of this? What's the long game? What's the intent? Because with Trump, it was a reaction to something. What did Syria do? I don't get it. The only thing I'm thinking of is, and this is something Posobiec's talking about, is Biden slash Harris trying to complete the Obama agenda of taking out Assad. Maybe not directly, but arming rebels, ginning up conflict to take out Assad. Is that the point? Is that the long term goal?
yeah, I mean, but you're not like I'm confused because like you're not so you're anti-Israel because you really didn't say like there really wasn't any pro-Israel shit to really come out of the Biden camp, but like you're gonna bomb Irani backed troop forces in Syria. There's a lot of confusion there, so they might have to try to send a clear message, which of course they will not do. I don't know. Lots of smoke, lots of what appears like smoke and mirrors, you know.
I think he was just bored. I think he was bored, and he was he was probably playing Super Mario Party or whatever, and he was like, "You know what I need to do?"
He
like,
saw
what?
one of those bomb characters, that's in Mario, and was like, "Wait, I got an idea. Here, give me the phone."
Well, I think a billion. Like I was seeing something about like with the $2 trillion stimulus package that's being pushed down our throats. I think a billion of that's going to Raytheon or whatever, which was like uh the current defense secretary used to be a board member of Raytheon, so like there's a little bit of that. Like, yeah, let's take care of our boys. All right,
yeah. I mean,
we've got these bombs we haven't used. Let's fucking what better time than right now?
So here's the Posobiec tweet. He says Kamala Harris was not informed prior to the Syrian bombing and is very upset about being left out of the loop per White House official. I wonder then, who is really in charge then?
Hillary Clinton.
Unironically, maybe. But who really is in charge then? Because we all thought she was really the one behind the scenes pulling strings, but she didn't know about this. We know Joe really isn't in charge. She isn't in charge. The chain of command then goes down to Speaker of the House. That's the only person I would think that could be in charge then.
That's the official chain of command.
Yes. Yeah. Not saying it follows that way, but that'd be the logical conclusion. But it doesn't mean it's who's in charge. But who is in charge then? Like, really? It's bewildering. Like, this is really weird stuff. I mean, really, really weird. In some ways, I don't know if I want this to be true or not, because it's like, well, who the fuck is in charge? We don't know. It's kind of scary.
She's in charge. She's secretly the one doing it.
Yes, Hillary won after all. She took it back from Trump.
Yes, that's the real deal. That's what happened.
Well, the one last story I want to mention too, and you guys, if you have anything else, shoot it, but no pun intended, is that the city of Chicago is trying to ban the sale of all violent video games from anyone, not just under the 18 like they normally had it, but they want all games have any violence banned for anybody of any age in the city of Chicago, which means no GTA 5, no Cyberpunk, no Red Dead, nothing.
Now, is it just selling or is it possessing?
Just selling.
Oh, yeah, it's stupid. And they're just going to go right the fuck over to anywhere else, and the city's going to lose out on money. Like, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah, they're just going to go online. Like, this is, again, gamer oppression is the civil rights issue of our time. Couldn't be more apparent. I don't know if this will pass, though, but it's pretty fucking crazy. I'm gonna actually check the stats of Chicago. See what autistic stuff they're doing. Yeah, Chicago lawmaker proposes a bill. And you know why they're doing it? This is the best part. Because carjackings have gone up. So they think if we ban GTA 5, no more carjackings.
These people are, like they're mentally ill. They're unstable. Yep. They have a mental issue. They have a mental disorder. It's bad.
Yeah. Gamers need to rise up. Again.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to end up happening. We're going to have the gamer movement. They're going to come out and they're going to go and, That's what they need to do. Get your voice heard, gamers.
They already imposed $1,000 fine on retailers who are caught selling violent video games to anyone under the age of 18. That's insane. Very, very funny. You know, they all thought, oh,
Purchasing video games now too.
what was that?
Is there like a crime for buying a violent video game for someone under the age of 18 now?
Well, if you were under the age of 18, you buy one, that's a no, that's illegal. But now they're trying to do it so that nobody can buy violent video games.
Like, let's say that I buy a video game and I'm not a retailer and I sell it to fucking teenagers.
I mean, I tend to think the current laws apply to that. The new one they're proposing would absolutely apply to that, because it applies to everyone, regardless of age.
This is silly Willy.
Yeah.
Silly boy hour.
It is. Well, speaking of silly, let's see if there's anything interesting trending on Twitter. Oh, congratulations, Scott. Politics trending. 2,429 tweets about Scott Presler getting that award. Nice. Anything else you guys have seen that's interesting or worth talking about?
Let's go and take a look at the section. We go and take a look over here. What did we have over in the news section? Apparently that SolarWinds hack was only able to be completed because they set the password to SolarWinds123.
Oh god.
And interns said that, and that's what caused that whole big fucking issue.
Fucking interns. You know, that's the funny thing too, is because a similar quote unquote hack has similar stupid situation with the John Podesta email leaks. John Podesta's email password was password.
Yeah, these people don't know what the fuck they're doing.
What happens when the Zoomers take over? Are we gonna not be as dumb as this?
I'd hope not, but you never know. There's some really batshit stupid people out in this world.
Yeah. That's just so dumb. And that SolarWinds hack was really freaking bad.
Oh yeah, no, like it went up and down the supply chain, and we let it happen. You know, or SolarWinds let see where was their like head of security, like where was their like CISO or whatever? What the fuck are they doing? Where they allowed this to occur?
I don't know, man. I mean, you know, we think the government's incompetent, but even corporations, there's a lot of incompetency.
Corpos are they're just as fucking incompetent.
Well, at least the corpos have more of an incentive to like get smarter or hire smarter people, because they're like, oh, we can make more money if we do it.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah.
You hope. You would think and you would hope, but unfortunately,
It's not
I
always
highly
the
doubt
case.
that they're just as bad as big government in many cases. You know.
Anything big is bad.
Yeah, like the fucking big government's no better than the big business.
Yeah.
Like the older I get, the more I realize that they're the same fucking thing.
I'm getting red pilled on capitalism, man.
Yeah, it's batshit like useless ideology.
Capitalism?
No, I say like corporatism or whatever, like libertarianism.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm the same way. And people that don't grow out of it, man, either they're not growing up or they are in a cult-like mindset or something.
Yeah, they'll probably grow up to sell steak knives for a living.
We don't know any libertarians that have done that. How could you come to that conclusion?
Yes, the future steak knife salesman of America.
Yes. What was the other scammy thing we thought of? There was Cutco, Yow. There's something else, I think.
What was it? There's a ton of scams out there. I mean, you have like Avon. You got like what was it? Like some of those one of those like sales jobs.
Oh yeah, dude, sales is a scam. That's what
Yeah.
Cutco is. It's a sales thing.
Oh yeah, it's a sales company, you know.
They're like, oh, you can make a lot of money. You don't have a base pay. You don't have a salary, but you can make a lot of money. You just gotta sell these shitty knives for like thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a fun job. You know, I'll get right on that.
Oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for them to start doing like Nexium shit where they're fucking branding people and shit.
Oh God. Yeah, like what? Fucking. What was that other thing? It's a religion like that Scientology. That's another scam.
Yeah, we should do a video on scams.
Yeah, I thought we did one on Cutco.
Yeah, that's true.
We did one on Yao, or you did one.
Well, the Nexium one, that was the hot one because it was like, it ended up being like the one Smallville actress was like a part of
Oh
the.
yeah.
It ended up being like this crazy weird sex cult where they were
Yeah.
branding fucking women and shit. Like it was crazy.
I forgot about that. Yeah, because I remember when I saw that, because that was coming out, I think, during the Me Too thing. I was like, this is the craziest thing that nobody's talking about. And it's like, you look into it, it's like, this is Bohemian Grove meets Scientology meets Eyes Wide Shut. Like, it was wild. But if we don't have anything else, then we can close out a few, because I know my compadre here wants to get the mail.
Oh.
Yeah, he wants to make a mail run.
Oh God! You need to go and lay down the law on that motherfucker.
Lay down the law. I fought the law, and the law won.
I fought the law when the law run. Ooh.
Nexium, what a freaking scam. Imagine getting in on that. It's crazy. Ooh, there's a documentary. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's HBO. Uh-oh.
I mean, it's good. It's one of those things where they had like, they have self-help shit, but like, and a lot of, and the problem is like when you first look at it, it looks like some very cool shit, but then it, as with most fucking weird cults, it ends up getting weird when you go beyond it. Like,
another one's the Fire Festival. That's another scam.
Oh God, that was funny. Do you ever see that like internet historian guy?
That's how I learned about the Fire Festivals, through him. I didn't know about it till he did a video.
Dude, I love that guy. He's one of the good YouTubers out there.
Oh yeah, he did a recent video too, like from I think about a month ago. He finally uploaded a new video.
Yeah, he has that other channel he uploaded to. He doesn't do it on like his main channel that much.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's got like a secret channel, or not even if it's really secret, but he's got
the incognito mode one.
Yeah, he'll put. I think he's probably got another one too. He's got a few. I think he actually pays people. Like, see, we need to get that big where we can actually like fucking pay people to do the gay shit for us.
The gay
like,
shit.
This shit that no one wants to do. It's like,
You mean video editing?
What? Yeah, the video editing. Like they'll pay him to do all this stupid shit that no one likes.
Yeah, he's got, yeah, his last video was from a week ago. Concordia. Oh, was that about the ship that went? Was that the Italian cruise liners? Yeah, I think that's what it's on.
Yeah, I saw that one. I think the guy ended up getting like sent to jail, or like the captain, 'cause he like bailed too early and he like didn't try to help anyone.
Oh, jeez.
I think there was like some drugs involved as well.
I'll be there soon.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, he has good ones. Oh, I should watch his Y2K one, because I didn't know. That's one of those things I thought's really weird that made no sense to me.
Yeah, dude, like that. Like, see, it was like the year two. That was like that 2012 shit, but you may have been too young for that.
I remember 2012 very well.
Dude,
I remember when they came out the movie about it.
Y2K kind of made sense, like why people would be worried because technology, Like before 2000, they didn't have like in the the date it'll be like 90, 98, 99, and then 2000. Like for some of these old ass computers that only had 2 decimal places for the fucking year, they're like, what's gonna happen?
That makes no sense to me, because wouldn't they know that there are more years in existence?
Well, no, they knew it, but like to save space, they only had 2 decimal places for years. Because back in those days, every fucking bit counted.
Mm-hmm.
And they were afraid that like the nuclear missiles or something would like go haywire and explode, and like
What?
it would be because of some digit issue.
I mean, maybe it's my Zoomer mindset, but like that just sounds like the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean it sounds stupid when you go back to look at it, but now it's like, like what's the word for that? It's like shit's worth 1,000 words or something. Or not that. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, on that note, then, if we have nothing else, I'll start to close out the stream then. Oh, Metal for Life, are you still watching us? You're our sole commenter tonight. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. I see Sam streaming. Maybe we'll crash his thing, but I'm gonna have to go to bed a little earlier tonight. But I probably won't, because I don't. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm gonna pull up this thing to close our stream. But while I do that, if everybody can like, subscribe, and share the channel, we might have a special guest on soon, who is somebody who used to actually be my boss, who I used to work with in Turning Point. He's gonna tell us everything. He's gonna give us the big scoop on what really went down that organization, because he knows some stuff that is way above our levels. That's very interesting. So hopefully we get some exclusive scoops from him, and we can ask him some questions, because I know we have some burning questions. So if y'all got any questions, get ready to ask him, because that will be interesting. We disagree politically. I'll put that out ahead of time. We do disagree. He's gone down a path that I definitely disagree with, but we both agree for our disdain for Turning Point and Charlie Kirk. Mouth Life trans people don't exist. They are fake, because Oreo told me that they are fake, or that they exist. So I believe that they don't exist. They do not exist.
Yeah, there's just there's two genders, women and men, and then there's a bunch of mental illness.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm joking. Of course, trans people do fucking exist. It's so stupid about that tweet.
Well, see, what do they mean by trans people exist? Do you believe that there's people who are like that? That's the question, because they keep phrasing it. I'm concerned that they're not phrasing this honestly.
Yeah. It's a freaking, what do they call it? They like...
It's a trick question.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, they exist, but does transgenderism, is that a valid... Are you a female in a male's body?
Yeah.
That's ultimately what is.
Oh, no. I see what you mean. Yeah.
You're a man. Or you're a woman. Unless you are one of the very, 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 like 0.001% of people that was born with a penis and a vagina. Because that does, like, if you're a legitimate hermaphrodite, that's different.
That's an exception.
Do you know how many of those exist?
Yeah. It's an exception, not the rule. And they're trying to make this the rule.
Like, and it's scary too, because like, look how many, like, what was it? I think, didn't they have that report that saying like 5% like Gen Z or like some sort of like gay?
1 in 6 adults are now part of the LGBT.
Yeah, and they said this sort of shit won't happen. I remember that. We let it happen, boys. We let it happen.
Well, so then does that mean the trannies are actually fake and gay?
Yes.
Well, a Metal for Life asks, do bisexuals exist? No. For men, it's a phase. For women, they can't get with guys, so they go, let's try girls. And they're crazy. So
I mean, there's people who just want to go and have sex with anybody. Like, there's people that'll fuck dogs,
Yeah. It's like it exists, but it's like...
They're like an omnivore. They just want to go. Like, I mean, what do they say in prison? Hole's a hole.
Yeah. It is. That's what you were telling me for the longest time. I was like, no, there's a difference.
I mean, if you know, I mean, yeah, there is. But if you're gonna fuck someone in the asshole, you know, does a girl asshole feel different than a guy's asshole? I don't know that question. I never fucked anyone like, and I never fucked a man in the ass, so I couldn't tell you from experience. But I imagine, you know, an asshole's an asshole. It's like, you know, the end of the large intestine. You know, it's
Mel for
not.
Life says, wow, so smart, so knowledgeable. Thank you. I know you're not being sarcastic, of course. Anyway, we'll close out. Like, share, subscribe. Down below, click the like button, click the subscribe button, share this shit out to your degenerate friends so they can see his degenerate stream of our degenerate shit. And we'll be back next week, hopefully, with our, or maybe sooner, with our TPOSA ex-worker telling all. We'll see you then.
TPUSA.
Later, Gators.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Alex? You got cut
Did you
off.
say TPUSA sex worker?
No, I did not. End the stream.
Almost.
And we're off.